3 years ago, my friends and I hiked into Blackspire Forest for a reunion trip. We camped there as kids. But this time, the woods didn't feel empty. This is what happened on the third night. And no, we never went back. The first 2 days were normal. Hiking, fishing, stupid ghost stories. But on night 3, Jake noticed our food stash was torn open. Not by animals. The cans were peeled apart like something unscrewed them. Then Mia found her boots missing. We joked about forest gremlins, but we all felt it. That itch between your shoulders. Like we were being sized up. Around the fire, Mia swore she saw a figure between the trees. Tall. Too tall. No face, just a shadow swallowing the moonlight. Jake tossed a flashlight beam. Nothing. But the next morning, we found Mia's boots at the edge of camp. Laces tied together. Drenched in something oily. And reeking like rot. The 4th day, Jake vanished during a supply run. We searched for hours, shouting his name. No answer. Until Mia froze. "You hear that?" she said. A voice, faint but clear, mimicking our calls. Jake, but it came from everywhere. The trees. The rocks. Even the goddamn river. We found his backpack hung from a branch. Inside, his phone recording static. And a note, "They want you to stay." That night, we heard footsteps circling the tent. Slow. Heavy. Mia whispered, "There's more than one." I unzipped the flap. My flashlight hit a figure 10 feet away. Pale. Naked. Its joints bent backward, like a spider on 2 legs. It tilted its head, no eyes, just black pits, and smiled. Jagged teeth. Too many teeth. We ran. No plan, just away. The forest warped. Trails we'd mapped for days led us in loops. Mia's compass spun wildly. Then, we heard Jake. Real Jake. Screaming. We followed his voice to a clearing. He was alive. Barely. Crouched over a deer carcass, ripping into it with his hands. He looked up. His eyes were black. His voice wasn't his. "You shouldn't have come back." Mia lunged for him. Jake, or whatever was wearing him, swiped at her. His nails left gashes down her arm. We bolted. Behind us, the trees shook. Things dropped from the branches. Pale. Fast. We didn't look back. Just ran until we hit the ranger station. They found Mia's arm infected. The cuts, they pulsed. Like something was moving under her skin. Search teams combed Blackspire for weeks. No sign of Jake. Mia died in the hospital. The doctors called it a rare parasite. Bullshit. The last thing she said was, "They're in the soil. They've always been here." They banned camping there. Too many disappearances. But last month, I got a package. No return address. Inside was Mia's necklace, covered in dirt. And a Polaroid. Jake, standing in our old campsite. His skin's gray. His eyes are gone. And behind him, dozens of those things. Waiting. I moved cities. Changed my name. But at night, I hear scratching at the windows. And when it rains, the mud smells like Blackspire. Last summer, my brother Liam and I hiked into Whispered Pine to scatter our dad's ashes. He loved those woods. But by the second night, we realized something else loved them too. And it didn't want us to leave. The first day was peaceful. We found Dad's old fishing spot, built a fire, told stories. But around midnight, I woke up to scratching, like fingernails dragging down the tent. Liam swore it was a raccoon. Then we heard it, Dad's voice. Clear as day. Boys, come outside. I froze. Liam grabbed his knife. Outside, a flickering blue light bobbed between the trees. Dad used to hang lanterns when we camped as kids. But when we followed it, the light vanished. All that remained was Dad's old pocket watch, buried in the dirt. Rusted shut. Still ticking. The second day, the forest went quiet. No birds. No wind. Just static in the air. Liam started acting strange. He'd stare at the trees for hours, muttering, "Can't you see them?" That night, the voice returned. "Liam, I'm lost." It sounded like Dad, but Dad's ashes were in my pack. I filmed everything. The camera caught shapes in the trees, too tall, too thin. Liam snapped. He charged into the dark, screaming, "Show yourself." I found him kneeling by the river. His reflection wasn't his. It grinned, winked, then the water erupted. Something dragged him under. I dove in. The water was gelid, black. My flashlight beam hit Liam. He was tangled in roots, clawing at his face. "Get it off," he screamed. I pulled him free. His cheeks were scratched raw. "It's wearing him," he gasped. "It's wearing Dad." We ran. The trails twisted. Trees bled sap like tar. Then we saw it. A figure in Dad's flannel shirt. No face. Just a hollow where its head should be. It held a lantern, casting that same blue light. Liam tackled me into a ravine as it lunged. We landed in a creek. The thing howled, a sound like bones breaking, and vanished. Search teams found us at dawn. Liam was hospitalized. Psych eval said trauma-induced psychosis. But his wounds, they weren't from the river. Bite marks. Human teeth. And under his nails? Skin. Not his. Not mine. DNA came back, inconclusive. They closed the trails. But last week, Liam disappeared. His phone pinged deep in Whisper Pine. I played his voicemail once. Static, then Dad's voice. "I'm proud of you, son." Followed by chewing. Wet. Hungry. I burn the ashes. But sometimes, at night, I hear the pocket watch ticking. And the blue light, it's back. Don't go into the woods alone. And if you hear someone you love calling, don't answer.